What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Jeffers with What's the Alternative Podcast. We are back with another episode 10. I got some special guests in the building. My guy to my right, Salik Edwards. My guy here, AJ Sanders. And my guy here, Logan McClain. So we're going to hop right into it, man. We'll go this way. So Salik, just tell them a little bit about where you played and a little bit of background on yourself.
Well, from right here in North Carolina, Greenwood to be exact, I played at Delaware State University my last 2 years of college. But for my first two, I went the JUCO route.
Okay.
It's like AJ. I went to Brunswick Community College. Stayed there for 2 years. I had to stay for 2 years because coming out of high school, my grades wasn't good enough to go straight to another university.
Right.
So stayed there for 2 years. Got my offer and ran with it. Went to Delaware State. Had a pretty good career at Delaware State. That's about it.
Well,
From Greenville, North Carolina. Coming out of high school, I had a good amount of offers, but I narrowed it down to three. They were Miami of Ohio, Mercer, and I want to say UNC Greensboro. And I took one official visit to Miami of Ohio and kind of just fell in love with the school. And then actually on the way back from the airport, back home from my visit with my mom, I was like, I think I want to commit. So I just ran with that, and it's been a dream come true. And my parents like Miami of Ohio the best out of those three, so it was, and their academics were really good, so it was kind of the best of both worlds.
right.
I'm from Greenville, North Carolina as well. We all from the Ville. I took the JUCO route as well, and I ended up going to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina was just a fit, honestly. It was like I felt at home there, and I felt like that was the place I should be. And so coming out of JUCO, I was like, I didn't even I only took one official visit, and it was to Coastal. And after that, I was like, let's go.
Same.
All right, so the first question we're going to dive into is all of you guys have played on a professional level overseas, including myself. Talk about, your experience, and feel free, whoever, to chime in, but like, what's the hardest part about being overseas?
For me, it was just being away from family and loved ones and friends. Where I was, it was a 6-hour time difference. They were 6 hours ahead, so the hardest part was just adjusting. I'm used to a small city where I see everybody kind of on a daily basis. When we get over there, it's big city, few Americanized restaurants, you go to McDonald's and stuff like that, but other than that, the culture's way different, man.
Right.
In my first place, I was in Sweden, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
Small city. I got there in like mid-August, I think. It was already like 20 degrees.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Yeah,
I don't do
so
it.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, I went to the college in Ohio, so it kind of prepared me.
Right.
But nothing
Like
like
a whole different type of cold.
Yeah, they're known for cold weather over there.
Yeah.
But actually, the first team I was on, I was there for about 2 months in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And then the head coach came to me and was like, we thought you were a true 5-man, so we can't use you.
So you were too skilled.
Right. Wow.
The thing is, the general manager watched my highlight tape
Mm-hmm.
that my agent put together, and they wanted me from that because they thought I was a 5-man.
Right.
Because in college I played mostly back to the basket, hook
Right.
shot, step out every now and then, but they thought I was like a legit 5-man.
Right.
When I got there, I transitioned to more stretch 4, kind of 3-man. And so basically, my first 2 months of overseas, like I was doing good,
Right.
and then you cut.
Right.
I was,
So that's the crazy part about like the business side of everything.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of people don't see. And personally, I went over to China and I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Just like sometimes you don't get paid on time, and
That's a big thing overseas. You don't
talk
get paid.
about your experience, eh?
Well, my experience was that I went to Kosovo, and I went over there. I was a rookie on the team with vets, and then Albanians, and so like the vets have their own outlook on things. So I'm learning from them, and I'm also got to go off what the culture has in Albania as a whole. So like it's two completely different cultures. So it's like I'm hearing one thing from the vets, I'm hearing one thing from the coaches. Like I'm playing well, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm hooping, and then the coach is like, oh, you're not doing this right. So like just like Logan said, they recruit you based off your highlight tape or what they think you can do.
Right.
So if you go over there and they think you outstepping your role, they're gonna tell you, oh no, you can't do that. You gotta get right back on what we paying you to do.
Right.
Even though that might help you, they feel like it's not gonna help the team because
Right.
they think they know basketball better than you know.
Right.
So it's just like, as I started to play better, in my situation, I was getting iced out by the vets. Like it's like, as I'm starting to play better and better each game, the vets was like, oh nah, he playing too well.
Right.
We not gonna get him a rock.
Right.
So it's like, it got to a point, it's like, damn, I'm getting frustrated with everybody because like, I know I'm doing my part
Yeah.
and now I'm not touching the ball on the other end.
And it no longer becomes, when you get to the professional level, it's no longer like, obviously you have a common goal, but like college is camaraderie. Nobody's getting paid. We're all here for one reason. But like I feel like, well, that's how I felt when I went over there. It's like, all right, I have to, I'm a certain
Everybody's
year
for
break,
themselves.
so I need a certain average, and everybody trying to take care of their family, and every spot can be taken at any given moment. You got anything to add, Ashley?
Well, me personally, my story is a little different.
Mhm.
I never had the luxury of you guys have with going overseas and all that because I chose not to.
Mm-hmm. Talk about that, man. I mean, that's huge, and talk about your transition because that is hard.
Nah, it's hard. It gets harder like as time goes on. So honestly, for me at first, after I graduated and my season was over, it was a relief for me.
Right.
Because sad to say, I never treated basketball like a hobby. It was always like a job for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to work so hard to get to where I was. So every morning or every day I'm waking up, I'm like, man, gotta go work out again. You know, I was never excited about it. So, you know, when I realized that I was done playing, it was a relief. I was happy to not have to go make myself obligated to go do this.
Right.
So, but as time went on, it got harder and harder. You know, I'm still seeing the guys play, and AJ, the boys don't even know this. Like, I only even considered going overseas because he wanted me to.
Right.
You know, or he wanted me to drop a G League or something like that. But I knew from day one, once I'm finished school, I'm not going overseas. I didn't want to because I had a child.
Right.
I was already 6 hours away being in Delaware. I don't want to be in a whole other country away from my child for months at a time.
That's something I never even thought about because I never even thought about this.
Yeah, so and that's why like every time you tell me leap, you reach out this person, yeah, bro, but I wasn't even doing it, bro.
And it's crazy because like, I was really pushing for him to reach out to certain people. I was like, yo, Lee, you gotta do this, you gotta do this and this. And he was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I'm not even thinking of it, but like on the whole other thing, he got a daughter.
Right.
It's like, that's something that's never crossed my mind. It's like he said, he was at school. Why would he go from being 6 hours away in school?
Right.
They going maybe 6 hours ahead and miss even more time in her life.
Right.
Yeah, it was tough for me because at the same time, like, I mean, I am good at this sport.
Right.
If I can get paid for it, I should at least try. So,
Right.
you know, he told me to go to one of the overseas camp. I did that. I did kind of good. Hired an agent or whatever. The agent, you know, he wasn't the best agent, honestly.
Those agents can be a process sometimes.
Man,
It really is.
Yeah, you know, and at the time, my mental was kind of crazy, like I said, and I never told nobody, not even my parents, but I knew I didn't want to go overseas. So I told my agent, I was real arrogant about it. I said, listen, I'm not going nowhere for a penny.
Right.
I said, if he can't give me at least $2,000 or $2,500 a month, I ain't going.
Right.
Which we know that's not even realistic for him,
Right.
honestly, especially me
Right.
coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan, no, I think Logan, you told me that one time too.
Yeah, no, because when you think of professional overseas basketball, you think of money.
Right.
You got
Exactly.
people getting paid millions of dollars over there, but it's not, depending on your league and the team,
The college you came from, honestly.
yeah, and
Exactly.
like who you know, it's all politics, but
Right.
rookies don't start out making that much unless you got a good agent, some
Right.
good film,
Who you
or
Or you pretty much borderline NBA.
Yeah,
I didn't make it.
Exactly.
or if you got a good tag to your name.
Right.
Right.
But it's really hard to start out making
Yeah.
money like that.
That's another thing I didn't really know existed until I got to the professional level, like politics.
Right.
Like you think, like coming up from high school or going to college, you like, oh, I'm a good player, so like this is what I expect to get.
Right.
Once you get to professional ranks, it's really politics.
Yeah.
Like no matter how good you are,
Right.
if you don't got the right people saying that you're that good,
Right.
it's not gonna matter.
Right.
You can be the best player ever, but like so and so say he don't like you,
Yeah.
they not picking you up.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kids,
Yeah.
my guy Logue has one on the way.
Yeah.
So talk about your balance, man, and like where is your mind right now? Logan is still, for everybody out there, Logan and AJ are still pursuing a professional career. COVID has kind of slowed a lot of things down, man. But like, where's your head as far as like contemplating? Do I go play, or are you in a Salik situation of like I don't want to be 6 months away from the kid?
I'm very well in a Salik situation.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I've had offers to go play this year,
Right.
and the money was all right. Like, it was about last year's, which
Right.
is, I mean, it's money, but it's not what I wanted.
Right.
But COVID kind of messed that up. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop playing.
Right.
Like, right now, I think I love the game more than I ever have.
Right.
And that's because it's kind of taken, I can't play it like I want to.
Right.
So I'm practicing with the Greenfield guys, trying to
Yeah, we're out
get
here.
my groove back,
Yeah.
and stay in shape. But
Yeah.
that's all I want to do is play basketball.
Yeah.
And it's never been like that. Instead, unless we was in high school, me
Yeah.
and him and like,
Yeah.
everybody from Greenville would just play for hours. But
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I feel like you never really know how much you love the game until it's taken away.
Yes.
That's
what everything.
100%.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. She's coming in May. So personally, I don't know. I would like to try to play another year.
Yeah.
Because first year, I mean,
She's not gonna remember
she
this.
doesn't really know what's going on.
Right.
She's gonna be wrapping around my finger. I don't know.
Right.
It's gonna be tough, bro.
I know.
It's gonna be tough.
Especially with girls, bro. They say girls like they may be at curve. Like you have a daughter, we have a daughter. Yo,
Yeah, but-
you change as a person.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to try to play.
Yeah.
Cause I know deep down I still got maybe 2 to 3 good years.
Yeah.
of-
So do you think it's a thing where like you don't want to have that doubt or regret that you didn't chase that dream
Yeah.
because of her? Or,
I mean, for me, it's kind of, I lived my dream. My dream was to play professional.
Right.
okay.
I didn't get to the highest level that I wanted to get to. I
Right.
didn't make as much money as I wanted to make, but
Right.
family comes first, man. Like, this is my first kid. I don't
Yeah.
know how to
Mhm.
act.
I completely
Yeah,
understand.
so it is.
Moments, stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's you get to that level. That decision is tough, but it's just like
Yeah,
for me, it was like I accomplished what
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to college for free. I don't have to deal with the debt
No
of college,
debt.
but like
Right.
obviously all of us in here, have a degree and we're educated. So like this right here, I tell kids all the time, like when coach, I can go overseas and chase it for 10 years, but like, so everybody knows Salik started a podcast. Go ahead and do a little promo before I get
Yeah, for sure, man. My podcast is called the Solid World Podcast. The goal of the podcast is to educate, inform, and entertain while having real conversations.
Cool. So, but we have outlets in here that can bring us more than overseas.
Basketball as a could.
Yeah, and it's just like my purpose for starting the Powerplex is to inspire. Like when I love, you guys don't know this, but like I tell Darren this all the time. I'm like, y'all were there this summer. Like I created that. I'm proud of that. That I can give the boys somewhere to go work out privately without having to deal with nobody. You know what I mean? And just like it's a family environment that Power Basketball is bringing. Whether it's just working out, getting stress off your mind, or working out. These kids had Caleb Reams and Jalen Ricks, my guys over there. They had the opportunity to work out with Kobe and you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? What high school kid gets that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah. So I mean, like I said, like for me, it's just about making a difference for the next generation. Speaking of the next generation, getting to our next topic. These guys, obviously, social media, we didn't really have that growing up. And I feel like if we had social media, I would have went to the ACC easily. But anyway,
We've had those conversations.
but I do feel like it's a thin line that it helps and hurts the kid. It helps in a way that there's more visibility, but it hurts as far as like kids' egos and I I don't know. I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
I feel like
Just them having too much notoriety too early.
Yeah.
Pressure. That's what it is. They have too
for
much
sure,
pressure.
for sure.
I feel like it builds them up for like all the success, but then when they don't reach it, it's like a big let off that it doesn't prepare them for it.
Yeah.
Like think about it. When you come in like now, especially nowadays, you're in high school, you're killing. They rank you here.
Right.
You go to that college like, oh, he's gonna do this.
Right.
And then you get to that college and you don't play.
Right.
So like, what do you expect then? Oh, the fall off.
Right.
They don't know how to handle that because at the whole time they've been held at this standard. So now they drop back down with everybody else. I'm like, yo, how do I react to that?
Right.
And that's something that social media doesn't show. It only shows the highlights. Like you said, social media
Yeah.
shows you what people want you to see.
Right.
So it shows you the great parts of things. But it's like it's also a downside to everything.
So I want to get everybody's opinion. What is your advice to the kids on how to handle it? Because obviously we don't know. So like I'm kind of on the fence. Like I think that it's a great tool, but then at the same time it's like you haven't done anything yet. And I talked with Rob Bridges on our last episode about this, but like you haven't done anything until you step on the college court.
So my advice to the kids is let social media take you as far as it can take you. But then after that, and once it starts to stop, like don't let social media define who you are as a person.
Right.
So like social media is gonna put you on this platform. Take full advantage of your platform that you on because it's giving you.
Mhm.
But say you fall off that platform, don't think your life is over.
Yeah.
Cause like at the end of the day, we all have peaks and we all have lows.
Right.
You gotta be able to bounce back from the lows, just so like you will bounce, like just like you would when you get to them peaks.
Right.
So like it's just like you gotta find a balance on when you high and when you low, and to take social media for what it is.
Right.
Take it for the tool or when it boosts you. But then like when you're not at the top, okay, see,
Right.
understand it. Well, okay, I know what I did to get there. Use that to get back there.
Right.
No, that was well said. I was gonna say some of the same stuff you just said, but you know, and it's funny because while we're on that topic, I think one day we talked about how if you just walk in a hooping session now, it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish we had that luxury. Like you said, I would have been in the ACC too.
Right.
But it's just like those are just highlights. And just because you're doing this in this workout session, don't mean you're gonna do that on the court.
Right.
Especially when you get to the next level.
Right.
Once you get to the next level, it's different, man. Like even with me, when I got to my first JUCO, I said this in my episode last night. When I got to my JUCO, every player on the team was better than me.
Right.
Every single one of them, and I didn't know how to adjust to it. It was completely different. So now I'm just now starting to lift weights. I'm just now starting to work out 2 or 3 times a day. Like it's just the little things you gotta do. So you can't let the outside stuff really boost your ego,
Right.
boost your head. You gotta stay locked in
Right.
on the course.
What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I would take parts of what you both said, highs and lows. You gotta understand how to deal with that. And then what you were just saying, Salik, I don't know. I think social media is good, of course, because it gives notoriety. But the downs, I think people, once they make it to that top, they stop.
Yeah.
That is very true. I feel like they also get
Oh, I
complacent.
got 100,000 followers,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
Right.
But there's certain people that they keep working, and that's
Right.
the special group of like pick of the litter kind
Right.
of thing. But I just feel like, I got a video of dunking on somebody, so I'm gonna stop working.
Right.
Stop.
100%.
The head boost, like
Right.
your head is big.
Right.
I don't know.
Staying humble.
Yeah, I think that the negative part is just kids don't work as hard as it's like our generation.
100%.
Because if they don't see me, basically like we're not recording him working out, so
Right.
they don't know.
Right.
So I got to show you everything.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Back to back to back.
You know what's crazy, Lil? I know they probably don't know about this, but that summer, I think it was going to my 9th grade year, and it was you going to your 10th grade year, if I'm right.
No, 'cause we reclass. Well, I reclassed.
Yeah, so like that summer, we was waking up at like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna get to
We
that
was,
later.
we was waking up at 7 in the morning, going to work out in the farm in Grimes,
Yeah, on the dirt.
on
field,
a dirt
Yeah.
field, like
jumping tires.
pushing
Yeah.
cars, jumping tires, like running in the mud. And the thing is, that's the stuff part social media never seen.
Yeah.
And that summer changed my life.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that summer, I never would have became the basketball player I was
Right.
today. And like all that stuff that I did, like that people have never seen, is what made me who I am. And I feel like that's where social media messes up.
Right.
Cause it's like people feel like they gotta show every part of what they do now.
Yeah.
It's really
Yes.
the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see is what makes you who you are.
And I don't have a like. Right, it's a different time. So like, if we were in that time, we would show everything
No,
too.
facts,
But I guess my thing is, what's being done? Like, what are you like? A lot of the trainers and coaches are pushing them, but like, what are y'all working on? I think the biggest drop off of like this generation is like thinking the game. Like, what are you? Like, I'm watching kids, you know, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, like, when this person curls, like, to space to the corner, like, just little, like, screen and roll
Teaching
stuff.
the
Like,
game, that's
everybody's running to the ball, like, we're in rec league, you know? Oh, ball. Like, I think that's what's lacking in today because of, like, all right, we didn't have trainers. That would have been amazing. Like, what? Imagine if I had y'all in high school. What?
Right.
Or you had, you know, Cahill to really. If
They
you
was
never
right.
got, like, everybody doesn't know this, Logan should be in the NBA
Right now.
Easy.
Sure.
Easy. But, like, think about if you had the Vertimax stuff and the stuff, the prevention, what's the stuff you and Coach K have to do, the stretching stuff?
Yeah.
Mobility.
Mobility.
If you had stuff like that in
If I
high
had
school,
somebody taking the
And
time.
you take
what time?
You would have tore your ACL, bro.
yeah, bro. I mean, it's just little stuff like that. So I think, you know, the generations definitely changed as far
They
as
so
understanding
gifted.
the
They
game.
so gifted now.
Athletically.
Like, cause it's like you got trainers and you got people who study the body to make sure.
Right.
that you
They got all the resources.
Like,
They
you literally have all the resources
Yeah.
now at your disposal. So
Right.
like, if you don't take advantage of them, that's on you.
100%. And right into our next topic, parents. So like parents, coaches, I don't think they push these kids enough to these resources. And it's just like, I don't know, you wonder why you get to the end of your high school career and you don't have any offers. But it's like, I don't think like around here in this area, I don't to me, it's not enough kids that care about trying to get better. Lord knows if I had a power place, I've been begging my mom, she would have had to find that $150 a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now it's just like, but parents claim that they don't have it, but like,
You buy
You got the
buy your
fresh
shit
J's.
every week.
you got the PS5 with all the games and controllers that cost $60, you know what I mean?
That's called priorities.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So y'all speak on that. Like, what advice do y'all have for the parents, man? Just to get them to understand and lock in. It's a few out there, but like, if we did as a culture, more kids would be gaining more scholarships. Anybody can take it.
I mean, I'll say, I feel like me being a parent myself and knowing the way, actually me being a son and seeing the way my dad brought me up with basketball. And I wish I would have took full advantage of it. When I was in 6th, 7th grade, he changed the garage to a weight room for us. And I maybe use it twice a week. But every morning he'll make me get up. Hey, go in there. I wouldn't go. But so I just say that to say this. If you really want your kid to succeed in what he's doing, you gotta push him.
Right.
You gotta constantly reinforce, like, you know, you have to do this to get to where you want to be. You can't just let them sit around, play the video games, and eat chips all day. You know what I mean? Because that stuff it'll haunt you at the end of the day. You'll never improve. You agree?
I feel like you should push your kid until it wakes up that drive into himself.
Right.
So like you push him every day until he wakes up like, I gotta do this because I want to do it.
Right.
Right.
So like as parents, 'cause, like think about a lot of times as you growing up, like your parents are like, oh, you need to go do this. And you're like, okay, I'll go do it. But then you get to a certain age, you're like, oh, I want to do this. Don't nobody gotta tell me nothing.
Right.
You get out of school like, oh, I want to do your shots up today.
Right.
So I feel like as parents, you should push your kid until they get to that point where they know they want to do it for themselves.
All right, now, if you get to that point and they're okay-ish, right? But like they're not to the point of getting a college scholarship, what is the point where the parents have to start saying, okay, you need to be thinking about doing something?
See,
the alternative.
See, that's a good point. Because
It's tough for parents because
It's tough.
like, I want my baby to succeed and I want my baby to, you know, play this and have this, but like at the same token, like if it's junior year and you ain't got no offers, it's time to be telling your kid, I don't care what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're gonna apply to NC State, Carolina just for school and have that as a backup. And I feel like these kids get to their 18 and they just like lost.
I feel like that's a tough conversation. Like as a parent, you gotta have with your child. Like, cause think about it. You might not want to have it, but if you don't have it with them, who is going to?
That's right.
As a parent, you're obligated. you have to have that
Yeah,
talk
right.
with the kid. Like like you were saying, junior year into junior year,
Right.
it could be a late bloomer.
Right.
Some are, some
Right.
aren't. But yeah, when it's about March or April, you're
Yeah,
saying you
it's
ain't
tough.
got nothing.
Yeah.
You just gotta.
You don't want to be scrambling.
You just gotta be realistic. Honestly, I don't think that talk should be hard to have
It
at all.
shouldn't.
Right.
But that's something, and I guess it's like that's the purpose of the podcast. But like that's something that should be said in middle school.
Right.
Not, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what else? What else do you like to do? There's a young man I'm working with right now. He's 15. He might be 16 now, but like he has a gift with the camera. He has a gift with editing and making music, and I'm just trying to tell him like God puts. I never want him to stop chasing his basketball dream, but God put something in you
Right.
for that talent. You gotta use it, man. Like you can make millions off of this stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's just like parents have to start plugging that. Like, do you like to draw, or do you like to, you know, or you want to be a businessman, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you like food? So I don't know. You want to be a chef, or start plugging those things earlier.
I feel like every kid is gifted in something.
100%.
And like a lot of times, especially in the black community, we push sports. We push sports so much. It's like, yo, in order to be successful, you gotta be great at the sport. So like in the black community as a whole, when you realize your kid isn't the best at that sport or at sports in general, you should ask them what else do they like to do. What do you like to do in your free time? What are you good at? And once you realize what that is, all the effort and backing you put in behind that sports, put it towards their dreams. Whatever they like to do, put that same effort in that. They like to draw, get them a teacher to teach them how to draw. Get them all the stuff they need to draw.
Right.
So like it's just like we gotta back them with that full support as we would as if they were playing sports.
Right. So next topic, man. Let's go into. We won't get deep into this. So I know you guys, but like politics, man. Just the whole Black Lives Matter movement, everything that's kind of been going on in the country. I want to keep it vague, AJ. But just
can go on.
I know you can go on for days. But just kind of talking about, you know, what do you feel each one of your purpose is to make that better? I'm not going to speak on. We already know what's going on with the White House and all that kind of stuff. But like, what is your sole purpose to end that?
Well, and you know, honestly, to be 1,000% honest with you, I wasn't even into politics until AJ informed me about, or educated me on it. You know, but it's just like with everything going on, and I feel like with us being young and we all have a voice, it's certain things that we can say or we can do that the people under us will look up to and you know and listen to. So with me, that was one of the main reasons I made my podcast. So like my first 2 episodes of my podcast, I had segments on it just talking about politics and voting and stuff like that, because I know for a fact that young kids are going to listen to this.
Right.
So for one, the podcast I got with AJ is called Basketball and Politics.
Right.
We talked about politics longer than we talked about basketball.
Right.
And AJ got into some deep stuff, which I'm sure he about to get into right now. But that's how I feel on it, man. I just feel like use your voice. Wherever you're at, you have a voice, no matter who you are.
Right.
And it's like with me, with my platform, I want to do certain things that I can hopefully reach out to the young kids with and let them know like we can make a difference.
Right. Now I'm sitting on the fence. AJ and I had this. AJ and Kobe and myself had a huge powwow about this, but like I sit in a tough position because of business. You see what I'm saying? So like, if my customer base is one race and more than the other, how do I can't really like, I feel I could, you know what I mean, as far as the voice, but like part of me is like, I don't feel like I'm obligated to speak out. You know, I can have my own thing, but like to put it on social media and share and do all that, because like I feel like eyes are always watching me. As far as from the business side, and I don't want to lose business because people are like, oh, I thought, you know, Jeremy doesn't. He never really talks about politics, but now it's Jeremy's like pro whatever, and now it's like, nah, we ain't going over there anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen. because I still want the support of everybody, because like that's my purpose, to bring everybody together. Lo, you being white, man, we're gonna be straightforward, man. Like Lo's white chocolate though, man. But like being on the other side, man, how does it affect you when you see everything?
Personally, I'm not big into politics either, but
Yeah.
I see what's going on from social media to all my friends posting about it,
Right.
and it makes like me sick to my stomach that like black people treated so badly, like
Right.
on a national scene,
Right.
world scene,
Right.
and like people see it and they don't do nothing about it.
Right.
They have like the government has the power to
Right.
arrest the people that
Right.
have done something that they shouldn't have, and they don't do it,
Mhm.
and that sends a message like screw you guys,
Right.
and that doesn't sit right with me.
Right.
Personally, I think by using my voice, just I don't know how I mean I have
Right.
a voice, but
Right.
I haven't figured out how to use it kind of
Right.
thing. But I don't know. Most of my friends are black.
Right.
Like growing up,
Yeah.
I was around black people.
I always told Logan he was black.
I was the one white person
Yeah.
with like all the black people,
Yeah.
and I felt, to be honest, I felt more comfortable around
Right.
black people. Like growing up, I didn't have a lot, so
Right.
majority, like where I was, majority of the people were black, so I just felt more comfortable around them, and I don't know, man. Today, like in today's world, it's just sickening seeing all this stuff happening, and like my friends going through this and expressing their
Right.
their sadness and stuff
Right.
like that. It hurts,
Right.
but I need to figure out how I can use my voice on a bigger stage and try to help as much as I can
Right.
by doing more research about the stuff,
Right.
knowing about like what they're actually talking about, because I don't know nothing about
Right.
politics.
Same here, bro.
But see,
I don't know nothing.
but honestly though, you taking the first step because you're teaching yourself,
Yeah,
and that's
take
a
position.
lot of thing. That's a big thing with what's going on. A lot of people have to teach themselves about what's going on. Like people on the black side, they understand it. Like on your side, they don't know because they haven't been through it. Like they have to educate themselves. Cause like if you could look at TV right now and not see what's going on, I can't really tell you nothing. Like you gonna see it, but you're not really gonna understand it unless you educate yourself.
Right, and you can't watch the news and try to learn because you know they got
Right.
Yeah,
both
right.
sides and probably both
Yeah.
of them faults. So you actually
Exactly.
have to sit down and so yeah, that would just sit down and do my thorough research,
I
know
got
what's
you.
going on, and learn how I can speak out and help.
How do we make change? Hey,
Perfect question, man.
how do we make change? I don't want you to go into it. That's the only question.
I just feel like honestly, we make change by changing ourselves. Cause like every day you're gonna bump into somebody, and if you can change one person every day, they can change somebody else around them. So like with you about to have a daughter. You raise your daughter, showing her how you feel about things, and how you see people equally. So then when she grows up, she has a family, she gonna raise her family the same way.
Right.
So honestly, I feel like the change starts with us.
Yeah.
So like, if our mindsets are open, we see everybody on the open field, everybody's the same, everybody's lives matter.
Right.
We all keep everyone on an equal playing field, the change starts right there.
Right.
Cause like, I can't just say, oh, I'm gonna change, and then I don't change nobody around me. Like, that's a lot of things a lot of people gotta say, like, everyone's like, oh, you gotta change this, you gotta change that. No, the change starts within.
Yeah.
Right.
You change yourself, everything around you slowly start to change. And that's why I feel like, that's what I want America to do, is like, just take a deeper look at yourself and what you feel at your core.
Right.
And at your core, that's who you truly are. And what you feel about certain topics right then, when you ask yourself, when nobody else is around, like, yo, I felt this about that.
Right.
You change that, you change your mindset, everybody get on an equal playing field, and we can all live on each other.
Yeah. I think change starts with opportunity, to be honest with you. I like, that's one, what you said, yourself, and then opportunity. I just think, like, being black and obviously we have certain stereotypes, you know what I mean? Like, as far as us, you know, being thugs or, you know, having guns and doing drugs. But a lot of people are a product of their environment.
Exactly.
So, like, I think the change comes when we can offer opportunity to be leaders, right? Like, so like, let's say one day I'm worth $5 million, something crazy $1 million. Like, to be able to, what's your dream, AJ, outside of basketball?
Change the world.
Change. Well, if you had a profession that you wanted to go into, what would it be?
Honestly, I would be a politician.
All right, well, that's real change. And what about you, Salik?
My dream would probably be doing some type of media like I'm doing now,
Right,
on a
so
bigger
like,
scale.
if we had millions and I said, okay, I'm gonna put millions into your campaign, millions into your company, now we can make change because our youth that are in their environment are starting to see, oh wow, like they on that. What do they see right now?
But see, honestly, that's another thing with like community. And I touched on this on your podcast. I was like, black people don't grow up with like, oh, I'm gonna be a politician. I'm gonna be a governor.
Right.
But that's not something in a black community as a household who's like, oh, when someone says this, oh, we laugh.
Yeah.
Someone grows up like, oh, I'm gonna be a governor. We laugh at them.
Right.
That's not something we bet. And in order for change to happen, we have to put ourselves in those situations to affect change.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it now,
But we start with opportunity because if you don't have it, then like let's say some kid wanted to be a trainer, right? Now he can come to me, somebody who looks like him, and be like, all right, well, Jeremy, what's the process?
Right.
But when you don't, like if we look around, okay, like NBA owners, except Michael Jordan, white, you know what I mean? Gas station guys, the Arabs got it on lock, you know what I mean? Like politicians, lawyers, doctors, predominantly what?
I said, look at them. They usually older white guys.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's the landscape before us, but now you live legit with all the internet. Like there's so many opportunities for us that if we can now own stuff, if we can be realtors and have, you know what I mean, land and property and all this kind of stuff and build our own stuff, then we can create internships and you know, stuff like what you're talking about.
I think we're making our way there though.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Because with our generation now, you see 90% of us want to be entrepreneurs or already are.
Right.
So I do think that we're starting to see improvement on that, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah.
None of us want to work for somebody. None of us want to have a 9 to 5.
Right.
So right now it seems like so right now it seems like a lot of us are on the right page.
Right.
Just got to keep on taking the steps.
Keep pushing.
That's it.
And I think that's where our generation is going to break the mold.
Yes.
Because like, for the longest, like you think about, we look at our parents were taught to conform.
Mm-hmm.
They were taught, you go to college,
You get a
you
job.
get a degree, you get a job.
I got a spill on
So
that.
now we going to college, we get a degree, and it's like, nah, I don't want that job.
Right.
That don't seem right. So it's like we starting to question what society is telling us to do, and when you really start to question what's going on, that's really when you find what you really want.
Well, speaking on the job thing, like I can't work for anybody. I just can't. But like, why do you think that it's so hard for athletes? And Lo, take this question. Like when they get done or they're in between to like work that 9 to 5. Why do you think that 9 to 5 is so hard?
Me personally, well, right now I'm working for my father-in-law, so it's kind of make your own schedule. He is lenient, but like I get the work done.
Right.
But I mean, when I'm overseas, I got probably 2 practices a day.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is free time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not used to waking up at 7:15, getting up at 5:30. Like that's just it's tough. And I'm not doing what I love to do. I mean, I enjoy working for my father-in-law, but it's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like a basketball coach. So
Right.
hopefully,
Around the game.
if this is the end for me, hopefully I can step into that world and get my foot in the door. But it's just tough because like growing, all I've known is basketball.
Right.
And that's another thing I feel like we get to college, they only push basketball.
Yeah.
Think about it, because like when you go to pick your degree, how often do you get to pick the degree you want?
Right.
The coach is like, nah, you shouldn't do that. You should do this one because it's easier, you pass your classes.
Right.
So it's like a lot of times they push you to only focus on basketball. I remember at my school, my coach said, you're a basketball player first, student second. I'm like, nah, that's not how it's student athlete. So it's like they pushing you to be a basketball player first. So it's like that's your identity. So then when you take that part of your identity away, you sit back like, yo, who am I?
Right.
Yeah. See, the sad thing is, you know, to speak on what you just said, when, like, all right, from my experience, once I did graduate with my degree, I didn't know what route to take with the degree.
Right.
I just know, like, all I knew was basketball. So once I turned the one offer I had down to go overseas, I'm like, all right, now let me see what I want to do with my degree. I should have been thinking about this freshman year.
Right.
I ain't start thinking about it until I graduated.
And the thing is, that's not on you though. That's on the coaches. That's on your advisor. Everybody around you. Cause look,
And that spins back to what we talked about earlier. It's the parents,
The parents,
like
yeah.
putting that in middle school, high school. So it's
Right.
like, all right, you know, if it doesn't pan out, like you want to be around the game. See, that's the thing. Like you don't have to like you said, coaching, scout. Like the NBA has tons of jobs, colleges have tons of jobs. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, in the back of my mind, like I want to be an agent. Like I want to be around the league players, or I want to be in the marketing. But like now, I know freshman, sophomore year, like, all right, if this don't pan out, I'm gonna go ahead and apply for an internship with the Charlotte Hornets when I move back home. That kind of thing, bro. Like versus just like, oh, it's over. Dang, like,
Right.
Like,
You
I
see?
mean, like I didn't. Summers was my time to just.
Right.
I didn't want no internship.
Right, 100%.
And that's part of my one regret. I didn't take the school stuff serious.
Right.
because
Me too.
I was so
Right.
like path oriented.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care about grades.
100%. And I guess that's the hard part because like as a college student, you're like, hell, bro, I'm trying to hoop, bro. I'm like going overseas. But I just feel like if the seed was planted like on, let's say you guys were in high school and I had the Powerplex, but like we talk about entrepreneurship all the time. Like, but if you were getting that beat in your head in high school, it's in it's like in the back end, like the we talk about the marketing forex and we talk about all this kind of stuff. But like, hey, bro, if I was putting that in your head in high school, it's like, okay, I might not get it till after college, but it's like it was there. You know, it's not like, oh shit, it's over for like.
Yeah, but when we were in high school, would we really listen to somebody say?
I don't know.
See, completely honest, the only like I heard everybody talking about backup plan. See, my mom, you know my mom,
Yeah.
she didn't play that.
Right.
At the end of the day, she always said backup plan.
Right.
Basketball
Right.
is this part of your life, but what's your plan B?
Right.
So like growing up, I always knew I had to do good in school. Right. I didn't have a choice.
Right.
I couldn't play basketball if I didn't do good in school.
Right.
So like she made it known that there was always like basketball was just like something that I liked to do, but it wasn't gonna be like my lifeline.
Right.
So she was like, education always comes first.
Right.
Yeah.
So essentially, though, to answer that question, comes back down to parenting. I guess it's just like you're not gonna listen, but like at least I guess in your subconscious, like knowing.
If there's
Just
anybody
knowing.
you would listen to, it should be your parents.
Right.
Because hopefully they're telling you the right stuff.
Right.
So.
But growing up, you also actually like us all being adults now, we realized our parents really didn't have the answers either.
Right.
We all just growing
Yeah.
up trying to figure out this crazy thing we
yeah.
call life.
Yeah.
Nobody really got the answers because we all
100%.
learning from trial and error.
100%. You guys got any more questions?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What topics y'all want to talk about? Well, I appreciate you guys coming on today, man. It means a lot for y'all to come down and be on camera with me, man. All y'all keep pushing, keep striving,
Yes,
and I'm gonna do the same. And big things are to come.
And we all gonna be rich.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the What's the Alternative podcast on the Power Basketball YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn that bell on for notifications for more videos to come. See you next time.